Hello everyone, welcome back to Desi Return. Today we're going to cover another important topic and it is all about Social Security survivor benefits. In this video, I'm going to talk about how does this Social Security survivor benefits work, the rules, eligibility criteria, and how much you could be eligible, and what happens to these benefits when you move back to India. So please stay tuned till the end to understand the details of this program and how does these benefits work when you move back to India. Before we go into today's topic, this is a quick reminder that we have covered other related topics, which is Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security spousal benefits on our channel earlier. Please check them out. Let's dive into today's topic. What is survivor benefits? So these are the benefits that are available to eligible family members of the deceased worker who has contributed to Social Security Fund. This is to help the surviving family members financially when they lost the income from the deceased worker. So, what's the eligibility criteria? There are several categories. Let's start with the surviving spouse. So, a surviving spouse should have been married to the deceased person for at least 9 months, and the person is not remarried until age 60 for them to be eligible to apply or get survivor benefits. Second, they can apply for these benefits only after age 60 or at age 50 if they are disabled, or if they are caring for a children of the deceased worker and if the child is below 16, then they are eligible for the survivor benefits. Keep in mind, the earnings could change depending on when you would apply for these benefits. Next one, dependent children. If the kids are below age 18 or 19, if they're a full-time student in the school, then they are eligible to receive the survivor benefits. Please note, if the child is disabled before the age of 22, they can receive the survivor benefits indefinitely. Third category, this is the dependent parents. If the deceased worker provides at least half of the financial support for the parents above age 62, then they are eligible to receive the survivor benefits. And the final category is ex-spouse. If the ex-spouse has been married to the deceased worker for at least 10 years and has not been remarried before age 60, then the person would be eligible for the survivor benefits. Again, the same age criteria applies. At age 60, they can apply, and at age 50, if they are disabled. This is the eligibility criteria for who can apply and what are the requirements to be eligible for the survivor benefits. Now, let's talk about how much you can get, how much are you qualified for these benefits. Before that, we need to understand there is a term called PIA, which is primary insurance amount. So this is the amount that the deceased worker would have received at full retirement age, which is typically age 67. The deceased person have got their own retirement benefits at age 67. The amount that they would get is called PIA. So let's talk the first category, spouse, at the spousal benefit, surviving spouse. The surviving spouse can get 100% of the PIA at full retirement age, which is age 67 for most of the people. However, if they apply for these benefits early on, let's say at age 60, then they would be reduced. So they would get anywhere between 71.5% to 99%, depending on the age when they start receiving these benefits. Also, if the surviving spouse is getting the benefits at early age before age 60 because this person is providing a care for the children below 16, then they would be receiving 75% of the PIA amount. So these are the amounts that a surviving spouse can receive depending on the categories when they apply and what benefits they are receiving. For children who are the dependent, and they would receive 75% of the deceased PIA amount. And the parents, for the dependent parents, they are eligible to receive 82.5% of the PIA for a single deceased parent, for a single parent who for the deceased worker, or 75% if there are two parents for each of them. So that is the eligibility amount for the dependent parents. And the ex-spouse is also eligible to receive in a similar way as the spouse, surviving spouse. However, there is something called a family maximum limit. So the total survivor benefits applied to all the family members is limited to up to, I think, 180% of the deceased PIA. So it is anywhere between 150 to 180%. So there is a rough calculation that goes behind. There is a calculator that's available on the SSA website. So there is something called a maximum family maximum limit, and that is applied to all the survivor benefits. If the survivor benefits goes above and beyond this limit, and everything is reduced proportionally for the survivors. Let's take an example. If the PIA for the deceased worker is $2,000, which is the full retirement benefit that this person would get at age 67, then the surviving spouse would get $2,000, which is the 100% of the PIA at that person's full retirement age. If she has taken the retirements early on, that would be reduced, as we talked about, 71.5% all the way to 99%. Now, for the children under age 18, they would be receiving 75%, which is 1,500 of the PIA until the age of 18 or 19 if they are a full-time student. For a family maximum limit, so if there is a family of a spouse and two kids in the same example that we talked about, and let's talk an example that the family maximum limit is 175%. So the 175% of a $2,000 is $3,500. If you have a family of a spouse and two kids, even though the spouse is eligible for 2,000, each kid is eligible for 1,500, but the overall survivor benefit that all the family members receive is capped to only $3,500, and it is reduced accordingly because that is the max on the based on the family maximum limit. So there are few things that you need to be aware of. First, the earnings limit. If the surviving spouse is earning while receiving the benefits, the survivor benefits, the benefits would be reduced based on the earnings that you have. However, if you earn after age 67, that will not have any impact on the amount of surviving benefits that you receive. So it's only until the full retirement age, if there are any earnings, that earnings may have an impact on the survivor benefits. Second, if you qualify for your own retirement benefits, you need to choose one or the other. So if your survivor benefits are higher than your own retirement benefits, then you would apply for the survivor benefits and you would continue, or you would just go with your retirement benefits. Please note, you can start with something. Say you started with survivor benefits at age 60, and when you reach age 67 or 70, you can switch from the survivor benefits to retirement benefits. So this is another important thing to keep in mind, that even though you can't take both benefits, you can maximize in terms of how you want to plan in taking these benefits. As we talked about, the timing matters. Depending on when you apply for these benefits, the amount that you receive varies, from anywhere from 71.5% to 99% if it is below the retirement age, full retirement age. And last thing is the remarriage. If you remarry before age 60, then you won't be eligible to receive the survivor benefits. So please keep note about that. Also, how do you apply? This is something that's not available online. You have to contact the Social Security office and you need to submit the required paperwork and the documentation to be able to eligible for receiving the survivor benefits. So it's important to apply for this benefit as soon as you can. And typically these benefits are retroactive only for 6 months. So if you apply it and they can't go retroactively back for more than 6 months. So what happens to these benefits when you move to India? So you are still eligible to receive these benefits. However, there is an additional requirement to be eligible when you are a non-US citizen living in India, for example. And the requirement is that the surviving spouse should have spent 5 years in US with the deceased worker under a family relationship as a spouse. So as long as you meet the criteria of spending 5 years in US as a family spouse, then you would be meeting the criteria and this person would be eligible to receive the survivor benefits in India. If it is a children below age 5, they are still eligible as long as the spouses meet the criteria of 5 years spending time in US. Now let's talk about some of the commonly asked questions. Can I receive the benefits while still working? Yes, you can receive the benefits while still working before the full retirement age, but the benefits might be reduced. However, these benefits won't be reduced after the full retirement age, even if you have earnings. Second, can survivor benefits switch to my own retirement benefits? Yes, if you qualify for your own retirement benefits, you can start with survivor benefits and you can switch to the higher one later. What happens if you remarry? If you remarry before age 60, you are no longer eligible to receive the survivor benefits. Do benefits differ for ex-spouses? Ex-spouses who are married to the deceased for at least 10 years, they are eligible and their benefits don't affect your benefits, your current survivor's benefits, the spouse's benefits. Hope this video was helpful and gives some clarity on how these benefits work and what's the additional criteria that someone has to meet for a non-US citizen living in India for them to be eligible to receive these survivor benefits. Thanks and hope you liked the video.